friends, thanks for joining me. I have just finished a recent project and today we are going to do the flip through. So here's the front of my journal. Here's the spine, and I'll measure that for you in just a minute. And here's a little front view. So this journal measures 4.5 wide, 6 3/4 height. The spine is roughly 3.5 inches. It's truly a custom sized journal. So I've embellished it with this simple black satin ribbon. This is 100% cotton and it was actually a very small pillowcase. The inside of the journal has been lined with a piece of decorative scrapbook paper, and also this is my card that I signed the book and I put a note into the recipient. In this journal I have used the papers from the digital kit in combination with vintage papers for some added journaling space. I just got a flower punch, so I punched out a bunch of flowers and I'm using them on many of the papers just to signify that it's something that you might want to open and write inside or read, whatever the case may be. I've also embellished many of the pages with a variety of different ribbons. These are some flowers that I created from my flower punch, and I put a few layers in there. I snipped the edges of this one with decorative scissors, and then with a marker I just did the center. I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but this is a pink metallic ribbon that I put on this page. There's some more flowers from my flower punch. There are a lot of vintage papers inside of this journal. You can see that this page here, this is an old bank statement, and this is from a book page. And each of the book pages that I used inside of this journal are from either an encyclopedia or a dictionary, and it has information about horses or horseback riding or something to that nature. That's the end of the first signature, and I just put a piece of ribbon here. Now we're beginning the second signature. I've simply added a piece of ribbon on here as well, and a little card here to be journaled on. This is a piece of paper from the dictionary, and it has all about horse racing on there. Now this one, anything with horses on it, besides the dictionary or encyclopedia pages, which are pretty easy to spot, is all from the digital kit. This particular page I printed onto an encyclopedia page. So we've got the digi-print here printed onto the encyclopedia page, but as we turn it to look at the other side, you can see what was on the encyclopedia page here. And it looks like the index or something, and there's a little bit of bleed through of the horse on the other side, which I absolutely love. I think that looks fantastic. And then I just folded a double pocket here to hold the ephemera. The ephemera on this particular page, I used a lot of these vintage bank statements. I had coffee and yeah, I had coffee dyed these. So I used a lot of those throughout because if you guys saw my vintage paper haul, you know how much of that paper I have. So in this one, I attached an envelope and I just embellished it, obviously, and I put some papers inside. This is the other side of the encyclopedia page and with the DigiKit printed onto it. And as a matter of fact, if you can see it, and I'm not sure you can, I'll try to hold the book so that you can see it. And maybe I can zoom in on that when I'm editing, but it says right here, encyclopedia. So that's kind of neat. This book page here says horse racing, and then there's, you know, a description of horse racing. So I thought that was kind of neat. And then in here, you know, is just some decorative scrapbook papers that can be journaled on, and some regular notebook paper. Over here, obviously, this is from the digital kit. And this is another bank statement. It's from a different bank, so it looks a little bit different than the other ones. And what I like about the way I did this is this pocket folds open, and then there's some more papers in here to be journaled on. I enjoyed putting the brand new DigiKit papers along with the vintage papers. I think that gives it a very unique look. Obviously, all of this is from the Digi print, and I just added a card here for journaling. And I added a ribbon here. Hopefully you can see it. I hope the light in here is good enough that you can see it. I probably should be holding the book a little more upright. This is a half of an envelope that I turned into a pocket. And I want to show you this. This is a piece of the ephemera from the DigiKit, and it is just absolutely beautiful. This is just decorative paper. You can open it up and journal on it. And then this is, I made this particular page out of a bank statement, so that's what this is. I want to show you this flower here. I used my flower punch to punch this out of a packaging of a tea bag, and so it's silver because that would be the inside of the packaging. And I think that gives it a really cool look. And I just went over it with my permanent marker just to create like the center of the flower. All right, now on this side, this has a little bit of an orange flair to it. And my inspiration for using the orange decorative paper is this piece from the DigiKit. It's just this beautiful piece of ephemera and this lady in this gorgeous orange dress. And so because of that, I was inspired to just make a really pretty page using some peach and orange elements. And I thought that this vintage gold ribbon went very well with the design of this page. All I did on this page was add this green satin ribbon. In my vintage paper haul, I also received at least 1,000 checks, probably more, and I didn't want to get rid of them because they all have these beautiful flowers on them. And so when I got my flower punch, I realized that I could use it on the checks. So I've been going through some of them, punching out the check, so it's got the flower, a little bit of the writing, and then on the other end of the check I was able to punch out the date and amount of the check, and I think that's pretty cool. So this is a pretty simple page here. I wanted to leave this blank so if the person wanted to read about horsemanship and riding, they could. And then this is just a beautiful part of the digital kit. And I left this blank. It's the other side of it, obviously. I left this blank just for lots of space for journaling. Because this is a small journal, I wanted to make sure that I left some blank pages so that the recipient could go ahead and have plenty of space to journal. I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can. I'll try to zero in on it or insert a photograph or something. This is a cupcake holder, the cupcake paper. I'm not sure what they even call those, but anyway, this is the edge of one. It had tassels on it and the colors worked, so I thought I would put it on the page just to give it a little color. On this beautiful print here, all I did was add some satin green ribbon. And here we have an envelope pocket with a vintage paper inside, and then also just a decorative scrapbook paper. This is just a nice double page of writing space. It is from the Digi Kit. The only thing I've added to this page is this pretty sparkly ribbon. Again, lots of journaling space. This is a velvet ribbon, and obviously you can see that it's yellow. I thought it was nice and it pulled out the yellows in this picture. This is a die cut from the digital kit. More about horsemanship here, and another fun die cut. This page, you know, I feel like the recipient has space to journal on this page if they so choose, or they could add a photo. You know, I wanted to leave some blank areas in the book that they could do what they wanted. And of course, this is a picture of a saddle that was in the encyclopedia. Nice clean journaling space. This obviously is from the kit. That was the end of the third signature, and this was the bank statement, a piece of ephemera from the kit, and obviously some gold ribbon. You can see some blue tape here. I did that on some of the papers that were thinner just to give them some strength. This is gorgeous, isn't it? This kit's really pretty, and I had a lot of fun with it. This is a card that I got from Sherri at Turquoise Dreaming. Thank you, Sherri. I thought that would be fun to just put it in there and bounce off the yellow flowers over here. Okay, this is one of my favorites. This page is so simple, but I love it so much. We've got the dictionary with the words horsemanship and riding here. This is scrapbook paper, but this gorgeous piece of ephemera from the kit, this is one of my favorite pieces from the kit. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then of course we have this one too, which is perfect on this white piece of paper. I don't know if you can see it, but if you look in the corners, and maybe I can zoom in on it a little bit, I used my pink distress ink here, just a very soft coloring of the page. And here is a white piece of velvety ribbon. I was fortunate in the dictionary to find the definition page for hoof, so I created a pocket and put it on this page and just added a few pieces into the pocket that could be journaled on. And over here, this page right here, this part is an old bank statement, and then we have some ephemera from the kit with a nice little card. I printed that out on a cream colored cardstock actually. Beautiful picture from the kit. This is a small pocket also that I created out of the dictionary page, and you can see all the parts of the horse. I thought that was a pretty neat addition to this. And then I figured the lines on the bank statement are perfect for writing on. This, obviously from the kit, I didn't do anything except I just added a little piece of, half of a flower here, and that's it. Nice, clean journaling space. I just added some pretty green, spring green gingham ribbon. Gorgeous. I love this. All I did here was add some of that velvety white ribbon. On its opposite side, I just put a quarter of a black doily here and left all this space for writing. This is kind of cool actually. I'm looking at it. We have the horse here. This is from the encyclopedia, but we have the G and the H here, and I think that makes a pretty cool page. So over here we have a little bit of a surprise when we flip this, and you can open it up. And there's a scarf that can be colored. And then we have what is pretty darn close to a riding outfit. The jacket is close, the gloves, the boots, they're not really riding boots, but anyway, it was as close as I could get to a riding outfit, so I thought that could be fun for coloring. So this is a little bit of a different look, but this is from the Digi Kit, and I printed it out on an old vintage piece of paper, which was a bank statement. So the bank statement already started out, it was actually tea dyed. It wasn't even pure white anyway, and then I coffee or tea dyed it. And so I printed this out on it. I hope you can see it because it comes out, it looks really old. And so, you know, it's just kind of neat, but you could still write on this page. Everything's light enough that you could write on it, and you could certainly use these lines as well. Now we get into another part of the kit where we have a whole different type of horse and a different type of coloring. So I embraced that with some nice deep green and also some gold ribbon. And then over here we've got, and this was a die cut, by the way. And actually this is an old cover letter from a bank, and I printed this part of the kit out on that old piece of paper. I did add this ribbon, but everything else is simply from what was printed out. So we have another one of our cupcake holders that I turned into a pocket, and then Sherri from Turquoise Dreaming had sent me this little card in my first ever Happy Mail. And I thought it was so cute because it's a horse and buggy, so I thought it was perfect in here. And then this is just some journaling space. This is the center of this fourth signature. Beautiful. I love how she designed this gingham, white and green gingham within this. It's just beautiful. I love gingham anyway. Here's the other part of that page, and all I did here was add some ribbon that I felt like matched it really well. So here's this similar horse again with this green and red, very bright colored saddle. And obviously this is a die cut. I printed this out on photo quality paper, which is really nice and thick. And the colors come out so vibrant. That's something I did learn about printing out on, you know, regular paper versus photo paper. And photo paper is way more expensive, but when I printed out on it, it was a huge difference. And so I will definitely be using that more frequently. So here's the other half of the you know, buggy page. And here we have, what is that? Oh yeah, it's like a little leather purse. It was part of that other page. So we got the nice H here, and that's obviously part of the dictionary. Okay, so that's the last of the, actually that was the 5th signature. There's 5 signatures in here, and that was the last of that. Now, I have started a little tradition of my own that in each of my journals I would like to put what I call a surprise pocket. So here's my surprise pocket, and it is a window envelope, as you can see. And I put a few items in here. First of all, everybody's going to be getting a feather in their surprise pocket until I've given all my feathers away. So this one gets a silver feather. And then I had these are kind of like a practical joke sort of thing, but it's like when you go to the office and maybe somebody takes a message for you and they would mark a box and then put the message, but this is like WTF. And so it's like, WTF, what were you thinking? What were they thinking? You know, WTF did you say? And so on and so forth. Thanks for joining me for the flip through of this journal. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you soon.